You're talking about Uncle Luke, Uncle Luke's wife representing the Devontae Freeman, and the contract talks coming up in the Super Bowl. Here's why: too many black people are poor, come from very little, so the money is the motivation, and you see that because you see what Carmelo Anthony did. He made sure he got that extra year when he got traded from the Knicks, from Denver to the Knicks, when he should have just finished out that season with Denver and then signed with the Knicks. Yeah, you only got a 4-year deal, but hey, nigga, you're still up. You're 100 million up. You're good, but you want to make sure you get every dollar. Now, I'll never knock somebody for wanting to get every dollar, but it goes
Yeah.
into what's the motivation, right? And Uncle Luke's wife coming in here, she's thinking about they're thinking about money. They're not thinking about football. Like they're not football is not the primary focus. And I'm not mad at the agent for that being the thing, but if I'm the player, what's more important to me? And because I'm a Falcons fan, I care more about the winning on the football field than which our players are getting paid. I want everybody to get paid and everybody to be happy, but I'm a capitalist and I look at it being a capitalist from both places, right? If I'm a player, I want the most I can get. If
Hmm.
I'm an owner, I want to pay you as little as I can to get the most out of you. Yeah, yeah, no, I want you to think I'm going to re-sign you after you leave to get paid what you're owed, and you go, damn, bro, I gave them $100 million worth of work, and they gave me $80 million worth of money. As a football fan, that's what I want. I want the Falcons to win every contract.
I like it when guys under when guys underperform and then perform. Like I tell you what, like I look at Caleb McGarry. We traded back into the first round to get Caleb McGarry. A lot of people don't realize that he was pretty underwhelming, and that's why we didn't pick up his 5th-year option. And you know,
Nah,
uh,
damn that. Let's talk about the guy now. Let's talk about Vic. We got an all pro season out of him on his rookie deal. We didn't take his 5th-year option. We didn't extend him. And you know what? We got an all pro, what, $17 million pass rusher season out of you for a contract we paid you pretty much that.
you know what people feel. This is one thing I'll say why Vic gets a kind of a bad rap. We just have always had terrible pass rush. And like the thing is that of the 5 years that Vic played for the Falcons, he like led them in sacks 4 of those years.
He was not a
But
bad
the
pass
issue,
rusher. He did
but
not
the
have
issue,
pa-
he was fit more to be a complimentary pass rusher to an actual great one. Somebody
he's a
to
gr-
where he was going to be the guy getting double teams for the Falcons because who the fuck do we have on the other end? They added Tack, I guess. He was supposed to be the other bookend, but like, Grady did his thing up the middle. Like Grady does his thing up the middle, but like
Vic was his best when he had
Dwight Freeney.
White Freeney.
Dwight Freeney, even that year, got us like 7 sacks. Like he
And
still had,
Vic
and he was situational.
and Vic was an undersized pass rusher who, bro, he just wasn't big enough for the double team.
And
Vic
and
played running back in high school. He was
and
a
I
running back and receiver in high school.
and obviously what helped too was, you know, we were up 2 touchdowns on people in the fourth quarter. So it was pretty easy because you knew that it was obvious passing downs. We had big leads, teams were gonna have to throw. He could pin his ears back, I mean, but
Hey, but look, I totally messed up that transition. We were talking about Uncle Luke negotiating a contract because I was supposed to tie it into basketball players. And so many basketball players, unlike football players, are thinking about themselves and they're not thinking about the team. And this is not a judgment, this is an observation, right? We see it so much in the NBA that they care about them. They don't care about win because guess what? Wins don't pay for your condo. Wins don't pay for your Maybach. Wins don't pay for your escorts. They don't pay for your weed. They don't pay for your investments. They don't pay for nothing. Like wins are cool, but the money is what pays. And Bradley Bill is getting a supermax contract. I mean, you can't lose the asset, but maybe you should. you know,
It's him any different than Dame Lillard? Outside of
uh,
Dame being just a better player, but what makes them their situations any different?
Dame Lillard actually took Portland to a Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
Brad Beal has not seen a second round without John Wall.
Okay. And they needed Paul Pierce to even do that. Paul Pierce was a big part of why they fucking went. And Paul Pierce was like on his last legs as a player.
Not arguing with you, but
No,
Brad,
he was clutch for them.
but like when that team was at its best, and unfortunately IT went crazy. That year, them niggas was nice.
You're saying the year the Hawks beat them, right? Because
No,
we beat them in the second round.
I'm talking about the year that they got put out by the IT Celtics.
Okay.
They went 7. IT went crazy with his fucked up hip after his sister passed away.
Yeah.
That was probably their best Wizards team. That's the team that John Wall said that they was gonna beat LeBron with, which is crazy. Y'all weren't gonna beat LeBron, but I think they would have gave him 6.
Hell, the Celtics gave him 6, didn't they?
7.
IT gave him 7.
No. Never mind. I'm talking about Kyrie.
Yeah, I know. Well, Kyrie wasn't even there.
No, but we were at the book in Vegas screaming "fuck out Horford."
That was rookie Tatum.
Yeah,
and second year Brown and Al Horford and Kelly Olynyk and guys like that.
Terry Rozier.
Right? Scary Terry. What got Terry kind of paid? Well, got him swapped for Kemba, basically, because they were moving on from Kyrie and then Kemba.
Yeah, because Michael Jordan smartly didn't want to give Kemba the supermax. Yeah.
And I don't blame him. Maybe can we argue maybe that's Jordan's best executive move? That and drafting LaMelo. Drafting LaMelo was smart too.
One of the best drafted LaMelo. MJ not giving Kemba the supermax and saying, because here's what I think about, right? Too often the great players don't know how to evaluate talent because they want to compare them against themselves. But then when you talk about making that talent high-end talent, MJ has to go. Hold on. My last 3 years I made 30 mil. And that shit was crazy. But I'm MJ. Am I really about to give Kemba 5 years, 250? Kemba? No, fuck no.
He's like, nah.
This nigga is John Starks.
He's like, I'll give Terry Rozier 4 years, 75, and we'll call it a day. He's gonna do almost the same, and he's younger than you too. Like you've been here for like 7 years,
and you got bad knees.
And what happened? Is Kemba even in the league?
No, Dallas signed him earlier in the year, and he ain't there no more.
Not even good enough to hold Luka's jockstrap, huh?
No. So let's give MJ some credit for actually making a smart move.
Which actually, just while we're here and we are talking basketball, obviously that came out too, that Michael Jordan was possibly maybe going to sell the team.
I think that MJ is so rich that he does not want to be bothered with owning an NBA team. And
Kemba is 32.
Huh?
Kemba Walker is 32.
Yeah, I think it's my age.
Out of the NBA.
I think it's my age.
He's 32 and out of the league.
But no, MJ.
He's the all-time leading scorer in Hornets history. / Bobcats. I don't know if they count. I don't know how they do that. Because he's a Bobcat too. So
yeah, I don't know if they throw in the Charlotte Hornets from.
Well, you would think that they would just let the Pelicans maybe keep the Bobcats history, maybe. I know the team because the Ravens don't take over the Browns history, even though they moved from Cleveland to Baltimore.
Yeah, that shit's confusing.
I don't know, but continue. But with
The,
Georgia,
the good franchises stay home.
right? They don't have to leave, or at least they certainly don't have to change their names. Because
Um,
even the Raiders have moved around like 3 times, but like they've been the Raiders. You know what I mean? They don't change their name.
Hey, Nico, the fraudulent Raiders fan, he should be a Chargers fan, and I'm just standing on that. He's from San Diego.
Him and Trap, they're both San Diego guys that are Raiders fans. But
I
they
don't
the way they explain it to me is that there are just way more Raiders fans. Like that, like people
that,
grow up
that
Raiders.
that's true because I live there, but I still think it's trash because there
Yeah,
is a
you're from a place you don't want to cheer for where you're from. Like it's I don't know. Like
and there's a strong Chargers fan base down there. Like they may not go to the games, but they go to the bars. And the Raiders just have a better history, so it's easier to be a Raiders fan than be a Chargers fan. Like,
and then and we got to think about the influence of parents too. Like especially if they grew up in the same, if they grew like if their parents are from San Diego or lived in San Diego or just California in general, and they grew up fans of the Raiders, and they're like, "Nah, my son's gonna be a Raiders fan," type shit. That I mean, there's that aspect of it too. I guess you could add in.
that's still bullshit, bro. You're supposed to
No, I'm with you. I mean, my dad's a Cowboys fan, right? Like I'm not a Cowboys fan, but
you're supposed to claim your city because that's where you are, and you just fall in love with it. Unless you're Josh Holsey and he picks whoever he wants, because
well, he's not from anywhere, kind of.
Roses illustrated.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, if they listen to how we talked about Josh Holsey on here, they wouldn't think that he was our friend.
Or either that, or they would just question, uh, is this guy stable?
Yeah, Josh
What's
is
his deal?
great.
Is
Josh
he you guys' friend that has all the issues, or
no, he's not. Josh is more than great. We just he's fun to shit on, probably because he's doing so well in life. And not that he's doing so much better than everybody else, but he's actually doing well in life. And it's fun to pick on him because he's like the California lib in the group.
well, he's turned into it?
Yeah, he's a military brat, so he doesn't really have a home. So he's just easy to pick on, and he has tough skin. And he'll say "fuck you," then pour you up the best old fashioned you've ever had because he's a California lib and he buys his oranges from the fucking orange patch down the street.
Right.
Fucking cock. Hey, but let's get back to this NBA. Let's talk about this NBA player relations, right? We saw in the last week, Kyrie got 2 fans ejected from games for talking to him in a way that he didn't like. And then Bradley Beal is being investigated for battery for knocking a fan's hat off because the fan said to him, "You fucked up my parlay." um, or "fuck you, you fucked up my parlay," words to that effect. And I think this is an interesting crossroads, right? Because fans talk shit. Fans heckle. I mean, we were at the MGM screaming "fuck Al Horford" sports book out in here, so he couldn't get us thrown out the book. But we literally had the whole sports book in Game 7 of the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals yelling "fuck Al Horford." I don't know who they were betting with. Hopefully, they were betting with LeBron because they were fucking dogs.
Yeah, we couldn't. I put now, Grant, it wasn't nothing serious, but I put a grand on. I was like, let me get Braun in Game 7. I said, to go back to the finals. I was like, they going to deny him? It just adjacent. And that look, no shots at Jason Tatum. Obviously, he's terrific every day, but rookie Tatum taking Braun.
Parlay Pete.
The league, Adam Silver was like, all right, Braun, we're gonna put something in front of you. This is what you got to go through. And they were like, rookie Tatum, and this nigga Braun, they were like, yeah, we're gonna dog you. We're gonna label you as a dog because you guys haven't won a game in Boston all series.
Parlay Pete, question for you: if we're in the NBA Finals, Game 7 in Boston, Lakers Celtics, are you taking Jason Tatum or Braun today? If Braun's the underdog, same odds. I'm not saying you're gonna bet a grand on Braun, but you're betting Braun.
Probably.
You
probably
trust
because
LeBron and
well,
AD in a game 7 more than you trust Jason Tatum.
not just a game 7, but more so just what's at stake for LeBron. It's either lose another NBA Finals or get your 5th and tie Kobe. Like there's so much you can get to as a Laker. Like there's so much more on the line for him. Tatum and them, yes, their first title type thing. So like there's a lot on the line there too. But like
Damn.
that could be LeBron's last chance legitimately at winning a title too. So I think that it's the type of game where he lays it all out and like kind of like you've seen Rocky 4, right?
No, I've seen no Rockies.
You've
Oh,
never seen Rocky 4?
I I'm dug in on Game of Thrones, Rocky, and
You've
Fast
never
and
seen
Furious.
Rocky 4?
I haven't seen Rocky.
I understand if people haven't seen like the original, like the
No, no,
I mean,
no. At this point, I'm dug in on Game of Thrones, Rocky, and Fast and Furious. I'm not watching. I'm that guy.
Rocky 4 is probably the best of the series. But basically, in Rocky 4, it's the one where he fights Ivan Drago, the Russian, right?
Oh, yeah, bro. That was propaganda. So Rocky had to win, but he had to get his ass whooped first.
Right. But the point is, he took such a bad beating, even though he won the fight, and then he won over the hearts of Russians and Americans on Christmas Day in Moscow. And at the end of the fight, heading into Rocky 5, basically he had fucking brain damage. I'm saying that LeBron would go so far to where he might blow it to where like he just is never LeBron James again just to win that finals. Like to where he truly does finally take like that step back to where that next year maybe he's missing games because he laid it all out there like type shit. Like he's just whatever it takes to get that one because that one would be so important to him and his legacy. It
Totally
would
agree
be
with
very important.
totally agree with you. But like getting back to this thing, are with the players sitting out as much as they do, load management, and I don't hate load management when you're thinking about winning an NBA championship. You're trying to come up with a formula that helps you best win the championship. But based on the money, pro sports are entertainment before they are competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the athlete says because you can go to LA Fitness, you can go play semi-pro football, you can go play flag football at your local wherever for competition. It's entertainment first, which is why it sells. When the players don't show up, which it doesn't really happen in the NFL, MLB they play 162 games and you can actually get cheap ass tickets to a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA, I put this in the comments when some people put some stuff out there. The NBA is the Democrat Party, man. I, I think at their core they have the right ideas, but their execution speaks to the loud voices more than the core that they actually disenfranchise your average day-to-day people because we just saw Caitlin Clark on ESPN have a higher rated game than any other NBA game. Don't get me wrong, she can ball, but she's not better than any NBA player who's played on ESPN on TV. I've watched ESPN games. I've seen some great individual basketball players play, and
Mm-hmm.
she had a 40-point triple dub. James Harden, Houston type shit. It's not NBA basketball, right? But why did people watch it? Because they connect with it, NBA players, the NBA is failing to connect because it's like, oh, load management. I gotta preserve my body. Well, Joe Sixpack, he's not doing that. He's going to the factory and he's coming home and he's drinking his fucking six pack, going to his son's recreation baseball game, getting really bored because that shit is boring, and he's drinking beer or drinking liquor out of his flask while he's there, or in his Coke bottle. and then he's going back home and he's living his life. And then he's taking his kid to one NBA game that he planned out the beginning of the year because he saved up his Christmas bonus so that his son could see LeBron play against fucking the Pacers
The
when they
Thunder.
came into town. And then LeBron sits out because it's the second game of a back to back. Then we got Bradley Beal ready to fight a gambler because the dude said, "Hey, you fucked up my
Cost
parlay." Yeah,
15.
yeah, yeah, dog. You fucked up my money. I invested in you. The betting platform that I invested in pays you, pays your league. So your salary cap is higher. You get more money. Yeah, I'm fucking pissed off. A fan says something crazy to Kyrie. Kyrie gets him removed. Another fan says something crazy to Kyrie. Kyrie gets him removed. I'm not
Fast
saying
to Russ. Russ gets him removed.
exactly. I'm not saying that fans should have zero decorum, but when you are in an industry that is forward facing, where people come to watch you work, people get to publicly criticize you, and you got to fucking take it because you get paid. You get paid more because of the money that you bring in.
There's two things I got on that. This gets back to the Shannon Sharp thing too. While people were upset he didn't get fucking ejected because he basically did the same thing, and he did it a little bit more because he stepped on the court and was pointing fingers. But and we get it. We know who he is, and he not only was obviously whatever he said then on the court, but obviously the next day on TV he's doing it too, or the day before he's doing
He
it
doubled
on
down.
TV. So because and that's his job, right? He gets paid to. I think Charles Barkley said it about KD. He's like, I get paid to give my opinion, and he said that's just my opinion. And so, no disrespect to KD, he said, but that's how I view it, and I'm a former player type shit. But okay, that's one part of it. But then the second part of it,
he'll bust KD's ass.
Second part of it is that the NBA cares more about the players than it does the fans, and that's obvious. While funny enough, the NFL cares more about the fans than they do the players, in my opinion. If you look at it.
Exactly, but Parlay Pete, that's why I compared him to the Democrats. The Democrats care more about the wild views of the enlightened politicians than they do about
You mean the forward thinkers?
than they do about the Americans. Because you think about these
They care more about their agenda.
Right. But you think about these highly volatile issues that are discussed. I bet your dad doesn't give a fuck about those issues.
Of what, the Democratic Party or
what the Democrat Party's pushing. And not because he is intolerant of those people who may be affected by that. But it just does not cross his desk as something to give a fuck about on a day-to-day.
Yeah, and let me tell you, politically, even just in general, even for myself, I'm the type of person where you get up and you go get it. Ideally, I don't even have a preference. Like I said, because I don't identify with either party. But
what do you identify as? You have to identify as something.
There is certainly, if I'm picking, there is certainly a way I like to think about things, and it typically is not the Democrat. I like to consider myself as somebody that is progressive, but I also am conservative. So it's like I don't think that I can't get into that extreme stuff.
I just want you to know that me, you, Julian, JP, and Josh could do a great political show.
Maybe we should put that on the docket for.
I mean, like
even if it's in the distant future, like the summer.
Yeah. I'm saying it's something that we could do one time, but I think it's something that we could come back to a lot because there's a lot of meat on that bone.
There is. I'd like to bring other people in too. I want to get different perspectives from different,
I want to get an AOC.
not just necessarily working class, but like an industry.
Oh, you want to hear what a factory worker
I would love to
actually?
bring, like, I want to get somebody white on that is Republican, even a white Dem, or I mean, I've got an Asian buddy of mine that is Republican. Like, I want to get so many different factors in on
At
that
some
type of
point, I'm gonna get my boy Kyle on with you, and we're gonna.
get a woman on, even if it's Kyle. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
As
that.
you just said, your boy Kyle. You can get girl Kyle. You know, like, and we know how she feels, obviously, too.
Yeah, I mean, she was supporting Bernie in 2016.
Right.
So
I was a fan of Andrew. I thought Andrew Yang would have been a good person to have ran in 2020.
I'm a fan of Andrew Yang, and even the Forward Party that he was part of starting. I
He's ahead of his time. I think that maybe further down in the line, somebody like him could be president. But
So, do you think the NBA is disconnected from the fans?
yes, but like I said, they care more about their players than they do their fans, while the NFL cares more about their fans than they do their players. And it shows, and that's why they make more money, because we appreciate that. You know, the Falcons, look, we had season tickets to the Hawks all them years. We probably had season tickets to the Hawks from like 2001 to like 09, and then we stopped getting tickets. Then we got them again from like 11 to like 14. And they ain't never give me no shit like this. Like, you know what I mean? Now, granted, look, now we've been rocking with the Falcons since I was born. So I guess we have a longer history, but at the same time, Hawks ain't never said, man, here's a complimentary anything. Falcons kiss ass, baby. They like, hey, you want some road? I text my rep. You want road tickets to this game? Boom. Here your tickets. We'll see you there. We're gonna have beer and food at the tailgate too. You want that? Like,
You told your rep, hey, my friend's coming downstairs. That nigga was at the door waiting on me.
that's what I'm saying. That too. It's just more personal. And that's the league, though. That the NFL realizes that this is a business. This isn't a statement. This is it's a business. The fuck, like, and that's why maybe they don't. Why too? When people criticize the NFL because they don't know how to handle issues that are looked at, whether it's the concussion aspect of it, the DeMar Hamlin thing, when people were like, did they stop the game? Like, and there was like a thought about not stopping the game, or, the kneeling, like, people were like, did they handle it correctly? Hiring of black coaches. Like, if you look at it, like, the NBA doesn't have that issue, but no, and there are more black coaches in the NBA because they hire more former players to be coaches, which most former players are black. But like, you don't ever hear those issues with the NBA, even though how many black coaches are in the NBA?
Enough.
Let me type it in. StatMuse probably can give this to me really quick.
I mean, the difference between the NBA and the NFL, the NBA actually has like bad black coaches, like my man's in
Doc Rivers, low key. Check this out. Wow. In the 2022-2023 season, there were 14 white head coaches in comparison to 15 African American coaches. So that makes me
Nate got fired.
So who's the one coach that's Spo? I was about to say, I'm like, well, who's the non-black or white coach? Spo. Spo's the only Latino coach. But
he better than all of them.
Okay, but this also is the highest year of this.
Okay.
Last 2021 season, there were 21 white coaches and 7 black. So that would mean that every coach that got fired in 2021 was replaced by a black coach.
Well, yeah, there was some outrage, so then they had to like correct. The NBA is ran by Twitter. The NFL is ran by their balance sheet.
Well, hold on, what is this?
Damn, Tatum had 40.
They're saying that Spo is Asian American, which I guess. So is he Indian?
I don't know what Spo is. I just know he can coach his ass off.
Who's the Hispanic coach then?
You gotta tell me. I have no idea.
And did Spo didn't take, unless he's just changing up how he views himself. Who? Let me see. Hispanic NBA coach.
What, bro? They really had a strip up in
Charlotte
a.
Hornets coach.
Oh,
He
the
got
guy
fired last year though. James Borrego. He's
Borrego. He don't even coach them no more.
Yeah, he got fired last year. So was the Hispanic coach. So Spo actually is considered Asian.
They fucked Borrego over. Borrego should have kept that job. He was actually doing a pretty good job there. But I don't think LaMelo rocked with him. And I think that's the difference between the NBA is that they are so beholden to the talent. So for you socialist types who care about the proletariat, that's what you get when you look at the NBA. The NBA actually serves the worker more than they serves the owner. And the business model's not as productive. And they have a wider reach in the NFL because of the amount of talent that they have from different places in the world.
Well, and it's just the NBA is more popular technically overseas than the NFL. Nobody, the NBA, like you said, because there's a wide reach, because there's so many players that come from different places around the world. The NFL doesn't. The NFL is popular as fuck here, is what it is.
And it still makes more money. You know why? Because at the end of the day, cash is cow. Cash is king, and capitalism is the answer. So the NBA needs to do a better job of actually connecting with the fans. Stop kicking out your dog. You're kicking out fans who have got courtside seats. You ain't kicking nobody out from the 300s who was calling Kyrie an anti-Semitic nigger. I hate this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he can't hear it.
Well, and then fighting people up there too.
Right. You kicking out the dude who paid
15 stacks.
10, 15 bands for a ticket.
For him and his bitch to sit there and then, let me not say his bitch. Boy, I gotta clean that up. But him and his bitch.
Nah, for real. Yeah, him and the girl, you kicking them out of their good seats.
Either that or the guy he's closing the deal with. I mean,
because Kyrie's mad. I got a question for you. If you're David Griffin, do you trade Zion Williamson?
Yeah, and as we kind of talked about in pre-production, I don't know why you don't try at least gauge the interest.
Okay,
see what people would think.
I mean, because I look at it like this: Zion
is still young, and when he does play, he's productive as hell. I mean, he was an all-star starter this year, and they were playing great. I mean, they were in first place in the West before he got hurt. So it's not a matter of if he's productive. But Bill Parcells said it best. Your best ability is availability, and he's just not available. And in the NBA, time and time again, we've got to see this so many different times. His being a little different, I think, kind of like Derrick Rose had bad ankles. But like
Derrick Rose had injuries. But Derrick Rose had injuries that we saw happen.
Right. Zion, he's limping down the court one game and might even finish said game. And then they're like, yeah, he's out 2 months. And it's like how? Like, or he had a setback in fucking rehab or something. Like,
bro, what do you think Jera would do if Zion was a Cowboy?
He'd let his ass go and wouldn't think fucking twice about it.
I was listening to
he would have never given him that extension that he fucking got.
No. Well, NFL owners have dicks too. Like they got pride. But I was listening.
Unless you're Arthur Blank and you think Desmond Ritter's the answer.
Well, yeah. He's wrong.
Hey, imagine going to the horse race and saying, "Man, I got the weakest horse in the stable, but I'm backing my money on this motherfucker." At them long.
No. Here it is.
Now, if it hits, it pays off. Great. Like if he shuts us the fuck up, the media the fuck up, Falcons win football games, Desmond Ridder becomes a guy to where we're talking about, man, let's talk about his extension that's about to become then we
Parlay
can all
Pete.
shut the fuck up. But if it don't, they look incompetent.
Parlay Pete, you know what?
They lose fans, bro. It gets bad if it's not.
You know what Arthur's doing? Arthur Blank's doing? He's taking Kent State on the spread against against UGA.
Yeah.
Now
he's taking money line, bro.
Well, no, because Kent State covers that spread, but nobody would have bet Kent State to cover that spread, especially when you looked at the way they covered that spread. They didn't cover it like, oh, we got a cheap ass field goal to cover. It's like, oh no, we could have won this game. We were close to winning this game.
Right.
That's what Arthur Blank's doing, but
you're actually comparing it literally to the Georgia game that was played with Kent State.
Yes. That actual game. No, not in general. I'm talking about that specific game that we played them way too close. But fucking, I would trade Zion if I'm David Griffin. I'm trying to trade Zion, because dude, bro, you don't show up. I think you're great. I think you're the second best player on my team. I still think that Brandon Ingram is a better championship piece than Zion. No, Zion's better than Brandon Ingram, but I think Brandon Ingram is a better championship piece because
he's still a 2 though at best. He can be a 2 on depending on.
We're not.
He can be the 2.
Parlay Pete, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't think Zion can be the 1 on a championship team.
We just don't know because he can't. He's not there. But when
he can't be the 1.
Like you want to know what it is? I've never seen this man play any meaningful basketball, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know how he reacts in a playoff situation because I haven't seen him play in the playoffs. So I don't know. I've seen what he's done in the regular season, and it's a light 27, 8, and 5. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's that's fantastic, bro. He's in his field goal percentage is 63%. So it's like it's fantastic. It's great. But
can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So during the bubble, I made a lot of money betting basketball. But I don't bet every weekend, every day. I don't I bet when I feel like it, but I don't regularly bet, right?
You're a social gambler.
Right. But I killed the bubble.
Same.
I did a great fucking job in the bubble. Would you take gambling advice from me today about basketball based on what I did in the bubble? Even though I don't bet on the regular?
No, that league's different.
And that's my point about Zion. Zion has showed that he can be good. He can be great. But he has not consistently shown under multiple sets of circumstances that he's great.
He's a 2-time All-Star starter.
Yeah, Michael Jordan was an All-Star starter his last year. And
he deserved it.
He didn't deserve it. It was legacy.
Yes, he did. It was his last All-Star game.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, he deserved it on legacy, he deserved it on legacy, not on court.
He wasn't that bad. People act like Jordan sucked dick with the Wizards. He was still averaging 22, 23. And
I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he was bad. He wasn't as good as Vince Carter was in 2001 and 2003. Sorry, he wasn't.
Fair.
So yeah. So that's the point I'm making.
Fair, but Jordan, and obviously, as you know, I was at that game, and that is best memory ever was him. What I thought was going to be the end of the game, him making the MJ fadeaway over Sean Marion. I thought that was game. It was great. He had 20 points. He was going to definitely win MVP. It was set up very well. And then Jermaine O'Neal fouled Kobe at the 3, shooting the 3. Kobe, of course, makes all 3 free throws, and then the game goes into overtime. Then it goes to double overtime. Then KG, the West wins, and KG wins MVP of that game.
Yeah. the point I'm making is that like we let MJ show up, but there were more qualified people on that day for that time to be there. Um,
We were there to see Jordan, man.
hey, you hear what Shaq said?
You said I had not actually heard it until you had said it before we got on. But
You're supposed to say no when I bring it up like that.
what are you talking about, Lee?
Hove did.
Sorry, but nah, Shaq said he was jealous of LeBron. He was like professionally jealous of LeBron for passing him on for passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time scoring list because he felt like it should have been him. And this goes into why I don't want to hear analysis from Shaq. Like I watch the TNT show for entertainment, but I don't watch it for analysis because Shaq is a lazy analyst, and Shaq, excuse me, was a lazy player. Shaq was a great player
Who's the best analyst?
on that show.
Yeah, I want to see if you're gonna say the same thing as me.
Kenny.
Yeah, and it's not even close, right?
No, no. Kenny is the best analyst. Chuck is the best talking head. Shaq, they could take Shaq off the show and their ratings wouldn't change, if you ask me.
They did it so long without him, anyways.
Shaq brings something to the show. He brings the superstardom of Chuck and the rings of Kenny to where he can say a lot of stuff. But if you ever listen to Chuck talk about Shaq on a different show and why he fucked with Shaq, he goes, you know, Shaq's always gonna go. He's always gonna go to his rings, and that's when I know I got him.
Shaq.
And Shaq, just the same way that Shaq was lazy in his play, I'm gonna let you go. The same way Shaq was lazy in his play, he's lazy in his analysis. Like, hey, dog, yeah, you could go get 28 and 15 on any given night by yourself, no question. Give me the ball, give me the ball. I dunk it. I grab rebound, three blocks, easy. I got it. I'm Shaq. And yeah, but when you try to hold people to your standard, Shaq, and say they're not good because they don't do what you did, nah, nigga, you were amazing. And you were fucking lazy and amazing. I don't know what the fuck you gotta say.
Shaq is great for one-liners.
The big Aristotle.
And when I say one-liners, I mean even more so from the perspective of
One stat line.
he's Shaqing a fool. He's Shaqing a fool. He's Shaqing a fool. Zimbabwe chicken. He's like, I'm sorry, Christian Wood. He said, I wasn't familiar with your game. Shaq's good for one-liners, like for just shit like that. Like, you know, but the thing is, too, Shaq is also the addition to that group that a lot of people maybe that watch it, like we didn't really get to watch Charles and Kenny play like that.
Nah,
so like
too young.
That's what I'm saying. They, I remember basketball when I was young. Like I remember basketball when I was 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah, bro. I remember. Like I think I said on this podcast,
most kids too. You're fans of who? The young stars, bro.
I came in as a Michael Jordan fan, and I remember the '98 finals. Like I remember watching that shot and Michael Jordan retiring, like knowing that was Michael Jordan's last game, and cry, bro. I was at my uncle's house in Augusta crying on the couch bed in the living room next to my grandmama because I was like, "Dang, Michael Jordan is done." Like I remember that.
So I don't remember watching that game at all. But what I do remember is going to the game, his last game here, because they played it at the Georgia Dome. And my mom, obviously, Falcons, Hawks, tickets. We went, and we took the MARTA too. We took it from Indian Creek down here. And so,
like, you know who else took the MARTA?
Who?
Hove did.
Hove took the subway once.
Hey, real quick before we go into this story, I want to let you know I went to that same game. and we were there together before we knew each other back in 03.
Oh, the Wizards game too.
Yeah, yeah.
I got Jerry Stackhouse's autograph. Yeah, so many stories from the NBA. But
I was in the
like,
nosebleed, buddy. I was the poor people.
we, look, I didn't have any control over my tickets, man. We had great seats. I mean, we sat right where the away team came out. It was always great. It's fun. I mean, I got to see so many of those guys up close. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was always really cool dabbing them up. Like, I mean, the whole night. Like, I'm one of those kids. Like, when they show them after they do their interviews and shit, and they come through, like, I was one of those kids. I was always one of those kids for the Atlanta games. But like,
well, nigga, I've been with you after a Falcons game. You one of them grown ass men right there on the fucking field. Shit.
yeah. Well, but
I
Justice,
don't not as excited. You're not excited. It's just
yeah. Now we know a guy like how Isaac came down. Now we know a guy. It's one thing, but like,
but there's also the piece of I can fuck y'all's girls if I want to.
certainly we've been in the same rooms. You
I
know,
like
that.
I like me.
I'm choosing from the same pool that you're choosing from.
And I'm confident that I'm going to be successful no matter who you're looking at.
Yeah. And so, like, but yeah,
hey,
many
great.
Real
quick, Parlay Pete. I know I'm cutting you off and I'm being a terrible moderator. But how good does it feel when you know you're in certain rooms with people who have quote unquote more status than you? And it's like, I'm going to win today. I know I'm going to win today.
It's always about just having a chance and like, or not even a chance, an opportunity, because that's where I think, where that stuff doesn't come in. It's when the opportunity isn't there. Like, I think a lot of people, if they could get the opportunity, could be successful. But most people, and that could be in any capacity. I mean, not just getting women, but like
Trading Place is a great movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And so, exactly. No, exactly. Yes. And so, like, or even if you look at something in like Butterfly Effect, right? Like, I'm sure you've seen that movie. Okay, Butterfly Effect. But basically how one thing could change something and then it lead to something else and it make your whole world different.
Dog, let me tell you what. I was telling the wife before we recorded today, right? I was talking about her hometown and she went to, she went to public high school out there, no biggie. But I know the city. And I said, well, I wouldn't want to move back there if I can't put my kids in this school or this school. If I look at the houses that are available there, a 3 or 4 bedroom house that's available in the area I want to live in is like 1.2, 1.5. And they go, what? For this? No yard? Nah, I'm staying in the South, bro. Right? And I said, like, yeah, we would want to go to the high school you went to. It's no shots at your high school, but because I don't want to send my kids to the high school I went to. Like, because it's not the best high school in the geographical area. So we have like this whole conversation about it. I'm just like, here's the thing. It's not about what you get in the classroom. It's about the network you build. And she goes, kids aren't thinking about networks. I go, no, they're not. But when they are thinking about networks, when they're older and the friends that they have, who are their real friends, are in spaces that they want to be in or are elevating their thought process of what they think they can do, they've gotten better at life. You know what I mean? Like one of our friends said, hey, I just got hired by this firm. So if any of y'all are interested, let me know.
That, and then, that could go a ton of different ways. Like, I mean, I look at
well, look at you. You going to Mount Vernon. I highly doubt that it changed your aspirations. But
it gave me a new outlook on life for sure. I mean, I said it gave me a new outlook on life for sure. Just in a sense of it was so much.
You know what? I take that back because
it told me the real world, bro. Like, just in a sense of like, I didn't even look at it from a perspective of First of all, I thought it was cool, bro, being a nigga that went to an all-black school to go to an all-white. Like, I thought that was cool in general because it's just like, even if you watch a movie like Atlanta, I was like, damn, I'm Esquire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to a degree. Like,
Yeah,
like,
bro.
like, I am Esquire. Like, that's me. Like, literally.
I remember being that guy at a country white school, and I also remember going to Morehouse and being like, "Dog, I'm gonna do 4 years in the military, then I'm gonna go be a teacher, a high school teacher." And I get to Morehouse, and I meet people at Morehouse. I hang out with Morehouse alums, my friends, after I leave Morehouse, and I go, "Oh, there's no way in hell I can maintain this lifestyle being a high school teacher making $54,000 a year. Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga." Like, oh yeah. I'm not against working with kids, but if y'all think y'all gonna pay me $50,000, I'm gonna be happy with that shit. Oh no. And this is where I may create like a divide between people from different walks of life. I'll be honest with y'all. If I am making $50,000 a year, I don't care what my wife is making. I'm poor.
You, like, and that'll be a whole nother podcast, low key, talking about that in depth. But, like, I think that, like, just in general, Hunter, like, whew, boy, look,
Dog,
and the way that this world's looking, man.
let me give you some like
I don't know how motherfuckers be so low. I really don't, bro, because
let
I'm
me
like,
give you
either that
a little
or
bit
niggas
let me give
get
you some transparency. Let me give you some transparency.
no way. Like,
From 2018 up until I moved to Albany, I was making over 100. Because of the way I get paid, how that shit works. I'm making close to 100. I'm not making 100 right now. And I'm in Albany, Georgia.
well, and you got to think about it this way too. Even if you're making 100, right? And let's just say, like, it's the precipice of fucking 100 to 115, right? Like, after taxes, bro, depending on, like, your tax situation. Like, I know for me, obviously, I I've been making six figures since I graduated. So, like even then, like, it was, first of all, the cost of living was way less than it is today. Like, my expenses are much higher today. But, like, two, then you add in, like, obviously there's nuances like the gambling. Like, I made more money gambling than I do from my salary. But, like, at the same time, that could happen in a day. For real though. But, like, at the same time, you tax that shit. When you tax 100K, motherfucker, if you're just a single dude, you're claiming zeros across the board, you're probably taking home like 66, 67,000 after taxes. Like, you're
Well, you talk about taxes, right? And I was talking to my wife about this shit because my wife is from California. And for those who don't know, she's from Monterey, California. Monterey, California is a rich people from the Bay vacation city. Right. And one of the cities on the outskirts of Monterey is Carmel by the Sea. Hey, I can't wait till we actually have the wedding so I can take y'all out to Barmel, the spots out Carmel. It's fun, rich people partying. You can definitely find yourself in a cuck situation on accident and not even realize it.
a cuck situation.
Oh, bro, absolutely. Like it's like the weird rich people shit that you read about and you see on social media. You can find yourself in that shit, but like you're so deep into it that you don't realize that's what it is until you're talking to this girl and you think you about to get some ass, and then her husband shows up and hey, how you doing? And the wife is explaining to him y'all's whole conversation, and you're like, oh, shawty, I was trying to hit. Why are you telling him?
And more importantly, you were acting like you were single or
Exactly right. So What's that all to say? Like it's some wild shit that goes on out there. But we were just talking about it, and I'm just looking at, bro. I'm looking at houses. Nigga, they got like one bedroom, one bathroom condos going for like 650. Yeah, yeah. Look at you. Why?
Well, not even just why, like no, like,
Exactly. And
break
then
all
like,
that, dog. Like,
and
and then
then like,
and then I'm getting taxed in California too. Yeah, get the fuck out of here with
and
that.
then you're looking at the family house. You're looking at the family houses, right? You're 3 and 4 bed. You're 3 and 4 beds, right? And it's just like 1.5. And I go, hold on, 1.5 California taxes, no yard. Hey, dog, we going to Georgia or Texas?
And even man, let me tell you, I look. That's why I say what I said. I just
Dog, if I'm paying 10,000 a month for my mortgage and I don't have an acre, me being from the South, nigga, I don't even got an acre and I'm paying 10,000 a month. I don't respect me. That goddamn beach weather ain't that good.
yeah, but but that's the motivation too. One thing I realized is just to make more money. Like,
Well, yeah. I
and,
mean that's really what it boils down to. Like,
and this is the crazy part. That shit's like out here, and it is really the wherewithal and the want to knock on those doors. Like I just because you can knock. There's thousands, tens of thousands of doors. Not everybody is not going to say no. Like it just that's just not the way that this works. Like everybody will, and I guess depending on what it is that you're doing, right? Like whether it's your own company or you work for somebody, like there are still just so many different doors. Everybody's not going to say no, and it's just how far are you willing to go to keep knocking on doors? How many doors are you looking for? How many doors do you want to find?
let me tell you, Parlay Pete.
Some doors you're going to tell them, not like forcefully, like, no, we're working with you, but you're going to come up with the right formula to get in that door. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get in that door. That's why I was so happy even about the contract I just got, because I've knocked on doors and I've been denied, even with the resume and everything being like, well, why not? Like, why not us or something? But like, these people,
They probably didn't like your skin or your long hair.
that could have, maybe that was it too. But like, these people got straight to the point, and I could tell that they could use us. And I can't wait. We're getting started with them obviously next month. I can't wait, bro, to grow off of that, and then just the confidence building that adds to it, because it's just like, damn. No, I did the number on myself, and I looked at how much more money that is revenue wise, and of course, profit will come with that. But like, just even revenue to grow, yep, this is what my company does in revenue, and taking that to the table, or just knowing that going into the next time that I do it, to where not on some, man, I'm good without y'all, even if y'all don't want me type shit, but just on some, here, I work. Now it's a different type of business too. It's not a tire company. It's not nothing in the automotive industry. It's something completely different.
But
Retail.
and
And
it changes your portfolio. So then when you're talking to someone else, you're showing some like diversity in what you've done and what you can do. But hey, run this because
call them and ask them about me.
hey, and keep running this because we're gonna close this out. Then we're gonna get into our non-sports related part of the pod because we gotta talk some of this other shit real quick before we go to bed.
All right, let's try and keep it 25 minutes.
Yeah, we can do that. Just let me pee and we out of here.
Okay. But